Hey everybody, welcome to the IronTrap podcast.
What's up, guys?
We are doing a pretty fun one this time.
Yeah, I think we did this in like the very.
One of the first couple we did.
That was just us like bullshitting.
Yeah, we did a little snippet of this. This was an idea we actually had early on, and we kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
And today we were looking for a good visual podcast topic. We were kind of spitballing ideas, and it's like, well, why don't we do the Hot Rod magazines, do a snapshot into a time of hot rodding,
Yeah.
and it'll be kind of fun to look through. So that's if you want a quick information about if you should listen or not listen. There's your out. If you don't like old hot rods,
Yeah, and you should probably head to YouTube if you're just listening to this.
yeah,
Because there'll be a bunch. I'll get B-roll of looking through all these magazines, so you can see the photos. Or if you have a collection of hot rods, we'll give you the year and the month, and you can pull it off and you can look through it with us.
yeah. So that's the topic today. We're gonna jump backwards just a little bit because I jumped ahead. Any bookkeeping or exciting stuff going on?
Carlisle is next week. Spaces K1 to K3.
Yes.
And we're across the aisle as well. We rented a space to take a truck or a trailer load of truck cabs. So
Or something. We don't know.
Yeah.
The stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, this, if you haven't seen it, the video about the Oklahoma trip came out, the first one, today, actually, when we're filming.
Yep.
But if you watch our social media, we usually kind of tease when we're doing these estates. It's kind of a nice way we have this all peppered in now. Like if you follow our social media, Instagram, Facebook, we usually post teasers or stories when we're actually at an estate or somewhere doing something, and then usually there's a video after it, and then now months later or
Yeah.
a year later we'll do a kind of wrap up on the estate. So people were kind of already asking about the Oklahoma video when we were still in Oklahoma.
Yep.
So that was
This one was actually kind of fun because we were there for multiple days, so we could kind of think about what we were doing and
Yeah.
having like filming stuff. A lot of times we just like stuff it all in a truck and start driving. We're like, shit, we didn't film anything for social media.
Yes.
Whoops.
Yes, we did it a lot better. We had a good crew of guys this
Yeah.
time. So if you haven't seen that video, it's pretty wild. Definitely go to YouTube and check out that video because it is
One of the
doing good.
largest amount of stuff we've brought home in one shot.
One shot, definitely, yeah. So so that's that. Carlisle, obviously, we talked about. There's the Model A. Just to give a plug to local shows, the Sunday after, I think it's the 27th of April, after Carlisle is the Model A, the Lehigh Valley Model A Club in Trexlertown, Pennsylvania, at the fire hall or whatever.
Yep.
They put on a really good early Ford show. It's definitely a little smaller. There's not thousands of cars, but it's all early Ford stuff. The swap meet is only car parts. So if you're in driving distance, it's a fun one-day show to go to. We always go to it. I'm planning on kind of the same idea as I did last year. Throw a bunch of parts in the trunk of one of the cars, drive out there at the swap meet, hang
Is that
out.
the Sunday after Carlisle?
Yeah, it's a Sunday after Carlisle. So it's a little packed with being right after Carlisle for us. But again, I'll probably just throw a bunch of stuff in the trunk of a car and come out and hang out, much like we've talked about in the podcast. Where it's like just trying to participate.
Yeah.
So even though we're not going to bring our big booth, I'll just throw enough stuff in one of the cars and give me an excuse to drive a car, hang out with friends, see a bunch of neat old Fords.
Hopefully it's not raining because the last like three.
No, just last year.
No, the year before, it totally rained out. Last year, it was drizzling during the show. It was like gross out because you drove the DeLorean car.
It wasn't bad. No, it was fine. I had no rain.
Oh, I thought it drizzled that morning.
That was fine. I don't know. I don't remember. It's April.
Yeah.
We don't
Rains
know.
every day.
So that's going on. We
think
talked
what else.
about me selling, myself listing some cars and projects for sale, and people were kind of asking what is sold or whatever. So we, just for disclosure, a lot of people that buy stuff don't want their information going out of who or where or whatever.
Yep.
We'll let them share that. So the 32 5-window project sold. Someone from down south bought that. They came and grabbed that last week, I believe, or
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. The Model A Roadster that we was from the Hoarder Estate in Chicago, that went to a new owner kind of locally. The 32 Roadster body, sadly, I decided I need to simplify. There's multiple reasons, but one of the big things is I was getting very overwhelmed, and with
Yeah.
this Oklahoma stuff, I kind of decided I need to curate. So I was going to keep that 32 Roadster body, and then it's kind of like I have a 32 Roadster that I love, and I don't want to get rid of that. So somebody came forward that's going to be going to the West Coast. That deal's kind of worked out. I believe the 32 3-window project, we're waiting on a deposit, but I believe that is sold to a viewer that's down south also. So it kind of worked out really well, because what I really wanted to get rid of was all these like half apart bodies and project cars that were like years, another lifetime away from me working on. Where we have for instance, the way I was thinking about all this, because people were kind of like up in arms, why are you selling this stuff? I have a 32 3-window that's very nice, very solid, that's on the 4-post lift, that's just sitting there waiting for me to get time. It's like, why am I hoarding a 3-window body in pieces when am I ever going to get to that in realistic terms? So it was like, that was the reason for that. 32 Roadster body, it's like, I love it. I'd love to do it, but I have the Sweetheart Roadster. I have some other cars that are more special to me that are a lot closer. So that's why I'd like me letting go some of those cars. 32 5-window. I have the Stroll car. I drive that car. I love that car. It's like I put it up for sale, but those cars had much more stiff prices. And that's why if you asked about a price on a car, if it was a driving car, the prices were a little more stiff. I still think reasonable with negotiation.
Very reasonable.
But that's why we did it that way. Is like the 32 3-window body, I priced it very affordably for what you were getting, because we just wanted to get rid of it and free up some space. So my new, our
eBay messages
are going nuts. That was kind of the goal. I didn't want to sell driving cars, because most of the driving cars right now I kind of like. So that was the goal for that. So
if we wouldn't have sold those couple projects that were in the other building,
we'd be screwed.
Unloading from Oklahoma would have been a nightmare.
Yeah. So
that video will be out. The unloading video will be out Tuesday.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on that. That's going to be there's so much stuff. It's ridiculous.
So, and I actually even sold, because that's always been my thing since I've been collecting my whole life, whether it was baseball cards or when I was doing German cars and all that stuff. I get in this like period of my life where I just like collect all the good stuff. I don't sell hardly anything, even when I have duplicates. And then I usually do a purge. I kind of get overwhelmed, and that's what happens. So after we started selling some cars and you rip the Band-Aid off, I'm like, okay, well, I have like 1834 grills, and they're all pretty nice. And I even so much as had some that didn't even have wall space. I'm like, why don't I put a 34 grill up for sale and sell one? So I sold one of them. One of my McCullough blowers, I put one up for sale, and actually the other one sold to a guy. And it's like, I don't need two. We sold a Scott blower intake. I had multiples of those. So it's kind of like, it's not like I'm purging and I'm getting out of the hobby. It's just like, why do I need duplicates? We don't want to be, I don't need to be hoarding the stuff we're coming across it quick.
And all the duplicates are not easily, but are replaceable.
Yeah.
It's stuff that we find on a not regular basis, but we find fairly often.
It's around. And if I need one for myself, I have one. I have a blower and an intake set aside that I could put on a car. I have an extra McCullough if I want to put it on a car. It's like, so, freeing up some cash, and also, freeing up some headspace with some of these projects and stuff and whatever. Because in the end of the day, we are kind of running a business. So if I fill the new building up with potential project cars, we don't even have room for inventory. So after a while, it's just crazy. So that's kind of we had a lot of people asking about what is sold and what was going on. So that's what's going on with that stuff.
Would you consider selling? I figured I'd ask this because someone else will. Would you consider selling the finished cars that you listed? Would they still be for sale, or you think you're
I think some of those cars, we've talked about it. I think a lot of the cars, for me, is selling to the right person.
Yeah.
Necessarily the dollar amount's always important, but the right person is important. So if the right person came forward to buy the Schroll car, and I felt like it was the guy or gal that would be as excited about it as I am, and give it a good home and not change it too much, hopefully, I would probably consider it. Those were cars that I could get rid of. The Pagoda City Coupe is kind of the same way, but But all those cars, I kind of like after I started thinking, I got nostalgic. If I drive one of them, I'm like, crap, I don't.
You did drive the Pagoda City Coupe the other day.
Yeah, but it needs some maintenance, and I'm like, but it is really cool.
Yeah.
So I think I would still consider it, but I'm not as, not as crazy about it. Obviously, the green 32 Roadster is going to be going away here soon once we put a couple miles on it. So we freed up, and your car is just about ready for the road. Pete's car went to the interior shop to our buddy Jerry. So like, if you count the number of spaces we freed up between your car and some of the friends' cars that are going away,
I just got my license plate and registration for my car, so it's street legal.
Yeah, so Mike's just about ready to take his car home. So like, now it's like I can get some breathing room. Like I was also running into, I had all these cars that were kind of like project cars upstairs, and they were a pain in the butt to start. So if I wanted to drive a car that's in front of one of the like cars that are project cars that run but don't run well, it's like it was kind of a headache. So that's what's going on. So we'll jump into what we got going on. So if you guys have ever seen when we've done a tour throughout the buildings of the shop, right behind where the cameras are when we do the podcast in the office, I built a little, like, from some of the leftover wood from the floors, I made little bookcases. And I organized all the magazines and some of my books and stuff, and
And they were filled as soon as you built them.
Yeah. During COVID, I had went through and organized and categorized all my, pretty much what I collect is 48 to 64 is what I narrowed in on as far as old hot rod and custom, any of the titles. Doesn't have to be, I don't need to name them all. And I organized them. We have a little document in our phones that we keep track of. And that way, if we need to look something up, we can just look it up, or if we need one. So collection's getting pretty good. I know for like hot rod and rodding and restyle and rodding custom, 50 to, 61. I have like every issue just about for the big titles. Some of the other ones a little harder. So we figured we'd do a snapshot in time. I think it's fun to show some of our favorites, and also it's kind of fun to debunk some of the myths of people that say things. Like one of the common ones is, small box Chevys are not traditional or whatever. And like when we look through these magazines, you'll start seeing that small blocks were just as popular back then as they are now. Just they didn't have aluminum heads they could put on back then or whatever. So we're going to stick this time with just specifically hot rod, because the magazines are bigger, so you can see them a little easier. And also they were, I think hot rod was probably more of the high end. It's kind of the equivalent of like what Rodder's Journal now is. If 50 or 70 years from now, a hot rodder looked at a Rodder's Journal, that is a snapshot into what the best cars were of that time. That's not the average. And that's what I think hot rod was. You're going to see the best cars. And Mike and I just looked through and picked 49 or 48 and 49. We just picked two covers that are our favorite. I got first pick, so I got the best ones.
I kind of knew which one of the ones he was definitely going to pick.
So I'll jump right in. It's a 48 first year of hot rod. And my pick is my birth month. I wasn't born in 1948. I'm not a vampire.
Oh, I did the same. That's funny.
That's your birth month too?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So I did June of 48. It is the iconic Iskandarian tee. As you guys know, when I built the free tee, the Iski tee was like probably my number one influence. And the Iski tee, what they call the Black Widow tee, and
shish kebab.
The shish kebabs. So Blackie's car also were all black tees of that era that were influences.
Did Blackie's car ever get on a cover?
I should know this, but I don't.
I don't think it did.
Yeah, I don't know if it ever did. I should know this, but I don't. So we're going to start with the June of 48 with the Iski tee on the cover. He full head of hair. Love it.
He just celebrated his like 101st
or 102nd?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so Iski's kind of like the last man standing. It was Alex Exidius passed away, and he was up there. He was a little older than both these guys, I believe. And we unfortunately lost Gene recently, so it's really, really sad. But we're lucky that a lot of these guys live long enough that we could document their lives, and there's a lot of stuff on social media. So Iski, from what I understand, is still going and doing his lunch at the burger joint at a restaurant like every day, just about. And I know I see pictures of different people that are like posting that they had lunch with him, which is really cool. So this tee is amazing. It's pretty much
checks all the boxes.
All the boxes, and it at this point was, it's pretty much its most famous version by 48.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy to think about that this car already had like different versions before this in 1948.
Yeah.
So that's the cover. Pretty simple.
One thing I will say that I like about Hot Rod is if it's a cover car, there's a full article about it inside.
Yeah, that's true. Some of the magazines will be like cars on the cover, and you're like, oh, this is killer. And you flip it, it's like a paragraph in the back page.
Sometimes some of the little books are notorious for this. There'll be nothing about the car.
Yeah.
It's like, because sometimes the little books have like 2 or 3 cars on the cover. It'll be like one of the cars in the background. You're like, oh, that's got like I'm in the nailhead stuff. Like, that's got a nailhead in it. Flip through the entire magazine. You're like, there's not a single thing about that car in here.
Yeah, it's wild. So what's interesting is Iski's T is probably one of the few original, like, famous hot rods that, like, I think just about everything down to the freaking tires are what was on it in this photo. So if you see this, if you've ever seen this car on display, so like I got to see it up close and personal when it was at the NHRA Museum in Pomona. Luckily, I was able to get kind of a tour through everything, and they pulled the rope down and let me to walk and touch the car, which is really awesome.
It's at the Speedway Museum right now, I believe.
Yeah, and I think it's on display with the tribute that was built with it. But that car has like the old aging tires that are like
so yellow,
so crazy but that's on there still. Also interesting, it has the wire wheels on it, which kind of shows that it's an early car. Blah blah blah. Thing's awesome.
What overhead valve conversion did that have?
It's
Is it Alexander?
No, it's
It'll be in the magazine.
Yeah,
sorry.
I should know it, and I don't off the top of my head. So, flipping through the magazine, what I love about the really early ones is the speed equipment ads in here are like a lot of the like really rare intakes and speed equipment companies.
Overhead valve conversions, all that stuff.
Like in these early hot rods, the stuff that's in here is like the crazy speed equipment that we like chase. So like right on the opening inside the front cover, you have this Sharp intake that's like a very rare.
Look at the back cover.
Sharp. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Sharp, low finned 3.2 intake.
Yeah.
That is very obscure. You do not see many of them. So that's really cool. And then this one, the Freeman intake, that has a little copper balance tubes. We actually just got an email from a viewer that I think got one.
He found one
somewhere, and he was asking us about the history and the rarity.
He had it for a number of years and just couldn't find much on it.
Yeah, so that's an LA company. The Freeman intake is like a low 2.2 intake with these copper balance tubes and has a little.
You have one that's similar to that, right? But it's not.
I think I have one. I think it's missing the data plate on it.
Okay.
But they're pretty rare, quite unusual. I don't really have seen many people even run them. And then like this, the club jackets.
Yeah.
You could just order your club jacket chain stitch, which is super cool, or get patches on it. And then like there's, Louis Shell. It's just a random guy that had probably a speed shop or whatever, selling shells and grills. B shells from $5 to $20. Fine selection. Fit Model A to 32.
We have to go back in time.
Yeah.
I'll take all of your $20 shells, please.
I'll take all your $5 ones too. Radiators, motors, completely rebuilt motors outright for exchange. We'll buy, sell, or trade Ford equipment. I'll pay cash for extra parts or items you may have laying around the garage. So like 1948. There's a guy literally doing what we're doing now. This is a time-honored tradition. So I also love all the illustrations. This is before Stoker.
Yeah.
Drawing by Ferguson. So it's got, they always had these little illustrations. I believe this is, I don't remember what year he started,
I
but
don't know.
I think it was like 50 or something like that. I should know some of this. So, hot rod of the month. So this is what the cover cars were kind of like hot rod of the month, and you had the Isky T on here, and a bunch of stuff that's kind of cool on this. Like the Isky T, this Isky is quite short for anybody that's
very.
He's a short gentleman, and the steering wheel is way up in. I kind of copied that a little bit because I'm short with the free T. Steering wheel is very much in a comfortable position for him, but is like halfway back into the body. And you could definitely see that in the interior photos. And then, of course, there is the Auburn gauge panel in it, iconic.
Yep.
Very, very cool.
That has a whole 32 Auburn dash in it, right?
No, I think it's just like a flat panel.
A flat panel?
Yeah. And then it's got is it a Dodge grill shell that's like two of them put together or something like
so.
that?
Dodge or Plymouth. It's Mopar, I know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and talking about the La Cucaracha name because it sits so low. And, yeah, La Cucaracha, title jokingly given to it in 1940 by a Mexican sheriff. The name is stuck ever since with it. It's stuck ever since with the Mexican trip. And I was talking to somebody else about this. They called the streamlined airplane struts. I think it just has tube shocks. Oh no, it might have lever shocks. I don't remember on this.
But they did call early.
Yeah, they're tube shocks airplane. Yeah. Ed bought the whole 24T from which the body was made for only $4. That was in 1939. Just try to buy it now. They're already talking about the prices going up from 1939 to 1948. 616s all around, 378 rear. It has a Zephyr distributor. Maxi
right.
overheads, which I don't know if there might be one more set that Speedway has, but they're like, almost the only set that's really around. So yeah, and he ran it at the Harper Dry Lakes. He ran in the Harper Dry Lakes in a T. But the articles are very. I mean, it was short. It's like 1 page, 2 pages. Another thing to mention is a lot of circle track racing in these early magazines. There's like a ton of dirt racing with the track tees, which is something that I feel like is a often overlooked part of this era.
I mean, a lot of we were looking through the case, and I don't know, 5 out of the 24, or probably more than that, 10 of the 24 we looked through all had track tees on the front of them.
Yeah, they're track tees, or they're hot rods that are styled after a track tee.
Yeah.
But the little, these are tees that are like, they're all like stock bodied with maybe a 32 grill or maybe no grill at all, and just a radiator, short wheelbase, very stumpy kind of cars. A lot different than the T track, or the T-bucket era, which stuff started to get stretched out, putting overhead valve engines. These things were very short, squat, and dangerous.
I mean, they were outlawed, roughly around 49, 50, I think, in most places?
Something like that. The Roadsters were. Yeah. And again, some of this information, we're just going off the top of our head. I'm sure people will correct us.
Yes,
but
100%.
In 48 here, there's no roll bars.
That's so wild.
So you could see like the guy running over the tire on the other one. No roll bars, nothing. And this is the Northern California Roadster Racing Association in 48. But there's like a ton of, like you hear this a lot with a lot of the early racing. Like, it was a huge deal. It was like a spectacle. So they're getting like tens of thousands of fans at these things, filling coliseums and stadiums.
Don't you have 2 books that's based off, or did Pete let you borrow?
No, I have them. They're Tex Smith books. It's
like Roaring Roadsters, right?
Yeah. There's 2.
Oh, I see it right there. Yeah.
2 editions of that that I have. And then they get right into the SCTA, so dry lakes. So it goes from dirt racing to dry lakes, and you could see why any young person reading these magazines instantly wants to make their car go faster, because much like we're looking at this, they're inspired to like make their car look like
Yeah.
even if it was a street car, you make it look like it was a race car, or the same styling. So one thing you'll see, there's a lot of these cars in these magazines. It's the cars that are like super sought after and being copied over and over again. So
Yep.
the Spurgeon car in here, which lives right down the road. Early actually
Yep.
Chevy.
That's the one that has that big catfish grill on the front of it, right?
No, that's the one with the Chevy overhead valve
Oh,
engine,
that's right,
black
yeah.
with the
That's next to that car.
and belly tank roadsters already. Again, overwhelmingly, you're going to see a lot of T's.
Yeah.
It's not, especially for dry lakes and circle track. Like the 32 is kind of heavy, so even though it's coveted now, in this point, it was
It's also
heavy,
a much larger car too.
much larger, heavier car. So they're not as common in these earlier days of dry lakes and racing history. And then Rosetta, which was a short-lived series of racing that opened. But I think the Rosetta, the difference with that was that you could do in early SCTA, it had to be an open car. These you could do coupes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
Was Rosetta a dry lake?
yeah, it was another
Lake
series
bed.
of no, they ran at El Mirage. It was just a different
Oh, okay.
series. But you could see the Pearson coupe
Yep.
in this photo sitting there. Again, lives right down the street in a
Yep.
crazy collection, but very famous 36 3-window that also ran.
Is it at speed there in the bottom left too? Or is that a different coupe?
That's a different one, I believe. But yeah, so El Mirage, they still run at El Mirage, obviously. But it's cool to see some of these really famous cars. That's what I love about this early magazine. It's like a famous, one of the most famous 36s, and it's like, it's just a car, just
there.
running it.
Yeah.
It's just there on the weekend. Origin of speed shop. I like this. They're talking about early speed shops, and they, if I remember right, they're meeting with like the guys from the T era speed shops, so Frontenac, Raja, like all that stuff is in there. So they went and visited. It's written by Lee Chappell or Chappelle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's talking about early speed shops. But just cool. The early speed shop, it's just like all the T's sit in front of it.
It's like a wooden building, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's just like an early building talking about.
That thing's slammed too. It looks really low.
I wonder if that is. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, just really neat, showing a kind of like everything's written in cashier.
Yeah.
No loafing. It says.
We gotta get some of those signs put up.
I gotta put one of them up in the shop. No loafing. And then the illustrations in these, like a lot of the SCTA and Circle Track, I have some of them hanging up, like sold Circle Track. This Gus Manum, he did a lot of illustrations for Hot Rod and the SCTA and stuff like that.
killer.
But like all these illustrations, like these magazines didn't actually have a ton of like articles in them per se, but there was like the advertisements, the illustrations are amazing in it. So typical track roadster, a new sport, is sweeping the nation, but just like
Track
super
T with a 32 grill.
yeah, just like so cool. And then talking about indie racing, but yeah, so they're talking about indie racing already, the crossover with hot rodding. And then the next section is just snapshots of cool cars. So some dirt racing. I'm looking here to see if there is Jim Downey and his 29 Roadster pickup, little tiny shortened bed on the Roadster pickup that's like it looks like it's a Circle Track car. But a lot of Circle Track racing was promoted in these. And then man, that's killer. 3031 Roadster.
Oh yeah,
on
that
32
is.
frame. It's a beautiful car. But already in 48, it's like 2829 on a 32 frame. Like it at this point, it's already like every car. Here's another one: 28, 29 Roadster on 32 frame with a 39 Merc engine. And Chop 32, but like going through here, most of the cars are Model A's and T's.
Yeah.
In these photos, there's a couple 34 Roadsters and in here, but none of these cars I'm seeing are like super famous ones that everybody would necessarily know. But I'll try and keep moving because I'm taking forever here. Oh, Bear's Custom Shop, custom auto painting with a K, with 41 Buick. I think that might have been Sam's car.
That's when they did the real long fender extensions down the
Yeah,
door.
it's got the fadeaway fenders on it, which is really cool. So, Bear's advertisements in the early days. Gus Manum. I apologize if I mispronounce any of these names. I've read them in my head and I never actually pronounced them out loud. So if you're
phonetically probably
you're like the great grandson of Gus, don't pitch at me. But you could buy 16 of his drawings for $1.
So
Do you
wild.
imagine that? That would be so cool. Ed Iskandarian already advertising here. Engel Racing Cams right next to him. Potvin next to him. All these cam companies. Weber Tool. So all these Sun.
I didn't realize Engel was that old back then.
Yeah. Engel Racing Cams. Custom Campground. Douglas Muffler Shop. They're all obviously like California based. And this is one of my favorite things about, or they didn't even call it here yet. Oh yeah, no, they did. Parts with appeal. Like one of my favorite parts of early hot rods. Like it's just an attractive young lady holding a random car part.
Showing a camshaft?
The camshaft overhead. And wearing, I mean, for the time, it's
Scantily
bathing suit.
clad.
Yeah. But like, and just that name, Parts with Appeal, it's just so good. I mean, it like, unfortunately, in today's day and age, it probably wouldn't fly. But I feel
Definitely
like it
not.
should still be something in a magazine. It's just like, I mean, they're tasteful. I mean, she's not like, if you go to any car show with a pinup contest, the girls are probably just the girls walking around. Are dressed,
100%.
Go to the shopping mall on a daily. Oh, there's no shopping malls.
Yeah, those don't
God,
exist
I sound
anymore.
old.
He's such an old man.
Go to the shopping mall. What's a shopping mall?
That's a very old man way to explain it too. Not just a mall, a shopping mall.
I know, terrible. Shut up. But yeah, Parts of the Appeal. That I love that. It's so cool. And obviously there's usually a sponsor.
That's what we need to start doing with our eBay stores, having someone stand and holding the car parts.
Parts of the Appeal.
Yeah.
Red-haired Dean Penny Hales finds that a full race cam helps a great deal while practicing her daily calisthenics. It's just like the write-ups are so good. Perhaps this is due to the fact that the cam is a custom ground for the greatest high-speed performance. I wonder who... 5'3" Dean was born in Dallas, Texas. She graduated from high school there. After graduation, she took a job, but remained only until she heard the call of the stage. At this time, Miss Hales learned that a stock company was casting a road show to star Burt Wheeler. Dean applied for a part as a comedy specialty dancer. She was chosen from over 100 applicants and toured with the show for over a year. She also was a big hit in New York, the proving ground for theatrical productions.
That's somebody's grandmother.
Mm-hmm. Following the show, she turned to Hollywood, where she was signed to a Paramount contract. Her next picture will be Warner Brothers' Silver Lining. Surely this super race part with appeal will meet with readers' approval. Love it. Oh, Pat Warren Quick Chains. That's a very rare.
Yeah. Is that an Edelbrock ad underneath?
Yeah, Vic Edelbrock, just real big, on there. Very simple. Hollywood Trophy Company. Los Angeles Plating. Bell Auto Parts,
Yeah.
Roy Richter. That's, obviously really Harman Collins, just all these. And then, here we go. I'm wrong. Stroker McGurk.
Oh, there.
Tom Medley. Here we go.
I was trying to look it up on my phone, but I couldn't get a date.
So I was wrong, obviously, already. Here. It was, but the drawings on these and the cartoons are amazing. I know when we've been looking at stuff, and like there's a lot of people now with the hot vintage nostalgic hot rod world that like different brands that have been taking inspiration
Yeah.
from this, and you're seeing it, which I think is super cool, a nod to that. But I mean, this Joker McGurk art cartoons are super cool. Sorry,
I see an advert there. I could tell when you had your finger in it. The Kong.
Oh yeah, Kong Engineering. So,
I could just see the black body. I was like, I think that's a Kong.
yeah. So when you look around some of the really famous cars, I was just looking at a bunch that were that are in a private collection recently, and it was like every other car had a Kong ignition in it on a flathead powered car,
Yeah.
and people wonder why they're so popular. But like he was doing heavy advertising in the early Dry Lakes days and stuff like that. So big Kong ad in here. SoCal Speed Shop, of course, Alex Exidius in here. Lee's Speed Shop in Oakland. Eddie Meyer. So, this is cool.
The Wyand.
The Wyand ad. I've got power. It's got a little pickup truck. And it's like, I've got power to burn since I installed this Wyand equipment. And it's a little pickup truck with a pulling a Coastlines truck. A big box truck.
How much is that track tee at the bottom for sale for?
So it's a it's a midget. V860 midget, new engine, Myers equipment, Winfield 3R cam, extra wheels, tires, and spare parts. Good torsion bar trailer, $1,400.
It's not a bad price. Navarro ad at the bottom there too.
Yep, yeah, Navarro with those like the racing
Non-generator.
intakes. Yeah. And then the one more I'll say in this is there is a 29A pickup, channeled, full race 46 Merc, Zephyr transmission, hydraulic brakes, extra parts included, in price of $900.
So wild.
So
Looking through the classifieds in
Ooh.
these is tough.
Yeah, here's a custom 40 V8 custom convertible. So it's a 40 convertible with 39 hood and grill, all molded. Really neat car. Electric doors. 90 over Merc full cam ported Carson top. Doesn't have a price. Must have been expensive. And Carson Top Shop advertisement in here. And Riley Racing carburetors. That's pretty neat. And then in the back, Tattersfield Baron. So this is a very huge ad, back cover, with all their speed equipment and Model A, V860, and then they have the Ford 6-cylinder, straight 6 flathead.
Now, at that point, Tattersfield had been partnered. Tattersfield was a company by itself, and then they partnered with Barron,
Yeah,
right?
Tattersfield Baron. So it's got the very rare 4-carb intake and the heads and everything on it. This is like holy grail speed equipment stuff. So that's June of 48. Mike's turn.
Mine's actually, we're taking a step back. This is actually funny that we both picked our birth months.
Yeah.
I didn't even try. I just picked it because it's got a killer. That looks like 3031, right? 3031 Roadster. I can't tell. It's got the picture's also very dark.
No, it's 32.
Is it 32?
Yeah, it's a 32 Roadster. I wonder if what month is this? February?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But the car has a Cadillac flathead.
I'm just jumping ahead to look at something.
Matt has to look for himself. But it's got a Cadillac flathead with the exhaust coming out of the top, down along the side of the body.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I have to reread that. I never really looked at that car.
Yeah, it's got a like a boat windshield on it.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was like,
super neat.
Yeah, so already 32 channeled Roadster.
Yeah.
California people, again, there's a lot of that, like, I don't know why in this time of nostalgic hot rods and traditional stuff, there's this like crazy divide, and I almost hate to when people, I almost don't like saying it anymore, like East Coast cars, and everybody's like, I want to build an East Coast car. It's like there was tons of channeled cars in California.
Oh, yeah.
Like it wasn't like it's just East Coast. I think there's definitely a look of East Coast, but like a lot of times, I even see it with guys that are over like in other countries. They start saying like, I want to build it's an East Coast style car or whatever, and it's like it's just a Channel 232. Like
but which is neat. This is volume 2 because January was the first year of Hot Rod, so this is issue number 2. So Super killer car. The doors look like they're welded shut because the interior wraps over top of the door all the way around. Because it's channeled, you just step over top and into it.
And isn't it interesting? It's not a Ford flathead; it's a Caddy flathead or LaSalle. I don't know, Caddy LaSalle flathead.
Looks like 16-inch.
But all of the cars that I've ever seen in the old dry lake photos and stuff with the Caddy LaSalle flathead, they always have those kick-ass headers coming out the top. They didn't just put the stock manifolds in. That's why I have one of these engines sitting, because I just want to get it out of my system to build a rad set of headers with a Cadillac flathead. So what are you seeing in there?
So looking at the front, Navarro Speed Equipment, the same Louis Shell specials, $5 and up for B shells and grills. Ford wheels all years as low as $399 new.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
I would imagine you'd be able to go in a dealership and buy high clearance wheels.
Oh, it's crazy. Wayne Manufacturing with a banger. Or no, sorry, Wayne 6-cylinder, my bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, they were known for 6 stuff.
Yeah, that thing looks wild. Compression ratios 7 through 15 to 1. That is so ridiculous. Let's see. So some write-in letters from all over. That's interesting. There's a write-in letter from Illinois for the first issue of Hot Rod. Because Hot Rod was mostly a West Coast publication. They didn't really...
Well, that's the second issue, right?
Yeah. But someone from Illinois... The rest
already,
of them...
They had spread already. Yeah. Wow.
A bunch of the other ones. There's one from Saudi Arabia.
What?
That's interesting.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Let's see.
I bet they were being tactful with what they were included, because it makes the magazine seem even bigger. They're like,
all
oh my
over
God,
the country,
Saudi Arabia.
Exactly.
Somebody reads from there in the second issue, and it's probably like the dude just wrote it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even a real question.
The rest of them are all California. Iski Cam, Anson Cam. So the Hot Rod of the month. So Keith Landrigan's D-Class Roadster. 38 LaSalle.
What are you running for a trans? What does it say?
Yeah, I'll get there. It's got a Winfield full race cam.
I would love to find a cam for that Caddy flathead I have. If anybody knows who I can get one from, let me know.
Oh, so it's running a stock intake manifold that they welded two new mounts on. So they used a cast iron intake and added two new.
Put 2 carbs on.
Yeah, it says 24. So it looks like stock Caddy or LaSalle Strombergs. They used 2 of them.
Okay.
The 32 Roadster body is channeled to just decrease the weight, and the whole engine is electronically balanced. I don't know about channeling the Roadster body does anything for weight, but sounds good.
Lower center of gravity, maybe.
This is wild. Power is transmitted to the 354 gears in the 34 Ford differential.
Wow, he's got 354. Well, Dry Lakes, he was top speed.
But still, a 34 Ford rear is not very strong, and that's
none of them are strong.
That's a very torquey flathead.
That's probably why you could, get around that. As well. Well, I guess again, Dry Lakes, he was just sticking the top speed.
41 CAD LaSalle side shift trans.
Okay.
Front axle and steering box from a 32 Ford. Also, this has Gabriel airplane style shock absorbers.
So those were the
lever action. Or no, Gabriel, that's right, tube shocks.
Yeah, probably.
Doors are welded shut and all the body creases are filled in. So it's a smooth body.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I wonder if it says... He took his car to the lakes and it ran 115 miles an hour.
Nice.
On the highway, gas mileage varies between 13 and 17 miles per gallon.
With those gears in it, yeah.
And it's funny that they were worried about miles per gallon back in 48. Trying to see what else. Full padded interior. Look at the dash. It's actually kind of wild. It has like a full padded dash rail with like a cluster underneath.
There's no actual dash. It's just a insert, and then you see the fuel pump on it.
Yeah, with another gauge. That thing's super cool. That's wild. 150 miles an hour is pretty fast. 115, yeah.
Yeah.
Is fast. Car's super cool. I wonder if this car still exists.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
I'll have
know
to
if
look
I've
up that
ever-
name. Have to look on
There's probably a thread about it on the ham
or
somewhere.
on Custom Rama.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going through more, like you said, dirt track, ton of dirt track photos with 1, 2. It's all wrecks. This page, look, it's literally just like 7 different cars rolled upside down.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah, so the
Death and
carnage right
destruction.
away. Killer Wyandotte with a high rise.
Let me see. Which one is that? Oh, yeah.
24 stud only. Talks about some different races. Trophy dash at the Oakland Fairgrounds.
Mm.
Yeah, these. I think this is all from the. It's a 100-lap race at Oakland Stadium.
Wow.
All those crashes. Ooh, this is good.
Oh, yeah, that tee is awesome.
2 full-page spreads. Not hot chicks this time. Some
Well,
great hot rods.
give it. You'll get there.
Yeah,
It's towards the
exactly.
back.
Willett Brown's Mercury-powered modified,
Mhm.
and Jim Rathman's. That's a sweet tee.
Yeah, that thing's awesome.
Cut down 32 grill.
If you look up like track tee in the dictionary, that's
exactly.
it. That's pretty
Some
much
pie
it.
crusts. Ooh, Evans speed equipment.
Mhm.
Some more cartoons by Tom Medley.
Nice.
So much to look at. Again, more Dry Lakes photos.
What's that engine on the bottom right corner?
That is, it's a Riley rocker arm heads on his 37 engine. Stone Spencer. I knew that photo right when I saw
Oh,
it.
hell yeah.
With him standing next to his car. Bell Auto Parts. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, here we
Parts
go.
with appeal.
What's the?
Ooh, that's a good intake.
What is it? That's a Sharp, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one of the early.
She has a little bit
Sharps.
more clothes on.
Yeah. See, they were. Why can't we do this
Yeah.
nowadays? If we
See.
if we have any attractive females that would like to do an IronTrap parts with appeal, we have. We have plenty of parts here.
Yeah.
We could definitely do that.
So picture that right is Norma Maxine Hammett, who wants Roadster fans to get acquainted with the latest in dual equipment.
The way they write it is so tongue in cheek. I love it.
According to the manufacturer of the manifold shown, it gives added power to your engine by a more perfect distribution of the fuel mixture. I'm trying to see what intake it is.
Maybe they don't say. Maybe
It doesn't say.
on
It's
purpose.
funny. Yeah, exactly. But enough technical talk, and it gets into her. That's so funny. She's born in 1927. She's definitely no longer with us at this point.
I would think not.
I think that's a Sharp. I can't tell.
I think it is. I'm pretty
looks
sure
like
that's one of those early
a
Sharps.
whole page on just carburation tips.
Heck yeah. I could use those.
Yeah, that's funny. There's a homemade candies ad. It's for the young kids that are reading. Smith and Jones. The Schultz.
funny.
Have you ever seen this? The Schultz manifold.
It rings a bell, but
Early 2.2 probably.
yeah, I don't know if I've ever come across that one.
Does it have
It
a?
looks like the shape of it almost looks like that one. There's a couple intakes that were cast like that. I don't know, but
Very, very low. Oh, yeah, it's 1.7 overall height. That's like crazy
Wow.
low. The manifold of the season.
Smith and Jones there.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, Schultz. Oh, it's Smith and Jones ad.
yeah,
Yeah.
next to it.
Long Beach. Wow, carburation, they really got into it. It's like 2.5 pages.
Yeah, gotta learn about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Strombergs are mysterious.
Sharp triple.
Yeah, Sharper's really
That does look like a Sharp. That intake she was
Yeah.
holding does look like a Sharp.
Sharper's really going hard on advertising
Yeah.
in these. Wow.
Crazy. Another Barris custom shop, much smaller one. Kong Engineering. It's funny, the ads between yours and mine, they were like 6 months apart. There's like no photos. They're
Yeah,
just little tiny squares.
Yeah, these ones are way more involved.
And also, anyone worried about us handling these, the first year of the really rare ones, these are reprints.
Yeah.
So if anyone's like stressing out about us handling it back and forth.
This one is a real one, so they might
Yes.
go.
Well, at 49, They're much easier to find.
I think I have a handful of real 48s, but I don't have number 1 or 2.
Whoa, this is wild. So this is the back page. It says, from the looks of the photo above, one might be led to think that the boys from Mars have finally arrived. However, such is not the case. Clad in an asbestos suit to avoid the hot power unit of the vehicle shown is Bob Yeakel, one of the 6 builders
Deceased shortly after this photo.
of this jet-propelled auto.
Holy crap.
So I'm trying to think what it is.
That guy definitely got cancer 2 years later.
The jet car was first tried out at the Rosamond Dry Lakes near Lancaster, California. With the throttle open, only a fraction of the unit cruised at 30 miles per hour. The car is started on liquid propane. The car got so hot during its initial test run that the driver had to swing his legs away from the power unit.
Wow.
It's crazy. The cost was about $10,000.
Holy crap.
It doesn't say what. It looks like it was made on a tube chassis. It's super crude, no body, just a jet engine. It's wild.
When men were men and men were stupid.
Yep.
Still stupid. But
The ad of the back of this one isn't as good. Join the March of Dimes. But that's it for February of 48.
Yeah.
Super cool. I love looking at these old things.
Yeah, it's neat. All right, so our 49, my pick, is probably one of the best hot rod covers of all time.
Probably one of the best 36 customs ever.
In my opinion, it's the best 36 Ford ever done.
It's so good.
Period. It's it. It's done. I'd love to build a 36, but I'd basically just be copying majority of this car. So the Calori Coupe, just super iconic photo. I love in a lot of the hot rods and rod and customs and different ones where they would include this like natural shot of a kind of like a guy talking to a girl.
Yeah.
One of my favorite covers, I forget which T it is, but the guy's like at a stop sign and there's a chick walking across the street with like her books coming from school or whatever, or just walking, and a dude's like jumping over the door to get out to go talk.
Isn't there one with a football team where it's the opposite? The girls are in the car and the football team's standing around the whole car trying to talk to them?
Yep. All those photos are just, I mean, it's just since the beginning of time. Hot chicks.
And hot rods.
Hot rods, customs, cool cars, and us trying to like talk to girls in our cars.
Yeah.
Or pull in chicks because of your cars. But this is just, again, perfect. Fun fact that the Calori Coupe has a very cool interior scheme. It's like a oxblood red, marbled kind of naugahyde or vinyl or whatever, with an off-white piping around it. Little sneak peek, the 39 Mercury I'm doing. That was one of my reference photos. The other thing that's super cool is the headliner in it is that same like oxblood marbled material with the piping in it that's off-white. It's just a super cool contrast. And I just saw that car not that long ago. Again, it lives here locally to us. And noticed that the dash is actually like a maroon. I thought it was black or chrome, but it's actually a maroon to try and match the interior.
I love every time so at Three Dog, there's a whole floor that's just 36s. Yeah. And I usually look at that one the most.
Yeah, it's
because
super
it's so
cool.
good.
Yeah, so this car is just, it's close to perfect. It's about as, really close. So that car on the cover, enough. And just talk about that car forever. It's so good. Is on the cover. Oh, look, this still has the subscription form.
That's so
in
wild.
my magazine. It's funny. Bell Auto Parts, of course. California Bill. Did you go to Bonneville? Eastern Auto, which has California's custom accessory headquarters, and has the chrome dash panel, the chrome over the over the dash. 41 Ford, the chrome dash inserts, like all that stuff that we now hunt for. Mickey Rooney, the big wheel.
That's a cool
movie advertisement there. It says
it's interesting to see the transition of the magazine
already
in just a year.
Yeah, it's like more like what we're used to now. It says on the cover, the sleek black 3-window coupe pictured on this month's cover belongs to motorcycle officer Jack Colori. Jack and the girl, Juniana, both shown in the cover photo, live in Linwood, California. Aside from being an unusually smooth street job, I like that, street job.
That's good.
The coupe has been timed at 114.50 miles per hour in Dry Lakes competition.
That's actually really fast if you think about
That's
it. That's a big, heavy car.
Big, heavy car, and that was a pretty hot flathead.
If you think about it, that 32 Roadster with a CAD flathead went only a mile an hour faster.
Yeah. A huge ad from Alex Exidius. I love how he puts his name, on the SoCal. Really cool.
I always love that the picture, the like the streamliner.
Yeah.
Just the single line behind it. That's like so iconic.
Yeah. Porter muffler. Muffler shops. Ooh, here we go already. They're showing supercharged. Homemade supercharger on a Berg Wright Cadillac puts out 45 pounds of pressure.
Holy cow.
45 pounds? That's nuts.
The title of the article is Experimental Jobs at SCTA. What's
Yes.
the one in the bottom right? There's like 7 carbs on it.
1, 2, 3, 6 carbs. Looks like 6 singles. On the Spalding Brothers Chevy 6, of course.
Yeah.
Lakester. The Spurgeon car with the kind of an iconic photo with the
Like trumpet intakes.
Yeah. It was a kind of an interesting idea, but that was, I guess, during a certain meet they tried that.
It had to be wild to go to those meets because people trying the
anything.
craziest shit just to get another mile an hour out of the car.
And there was no computers. There was no there might have been dynos at that point, but most guys weren't using that. They were just this concept seems like it'll work. Let me ram the air into the engine,
exactly.
and that'll make it go. It's just super, super, super cool. Again, Rosetta. You could see that they're almost anything can run. So. Gil Ayala. Again, famous person. I just never said his name out loud. So I'm not quite sure if I'm saying it correctly, and people will make fun of me. Shut up. Yeah, so just Rosetta, they're all closed cars.
Mm-hmm.
So really, really, really cool seeing that. And that's where I think the Rosetta is where you started seeing the hard chop 30.
It's wild to see a T.
Yeah.
Coupe.
It's definitely chopped, but it's not
a lot. No.
Not a lot. And it's full fendered.
It's also that 34 doesn't look chopped, but channeled where your thumb is.
Yeah, I don't know if it is.
If it's chopped, it's a very...
Oh, it's not chopped. It might be channeled a little bit. Oh, there you go. Steve got that engine running. Apparently the throttle was a little stuck, but if you hear the engine, Steve's running the pretty healthy APA that we got in Virginia.
I heard it was shooting flames yesterday.
It was shooting flames a little bit yesterday. For the 32 two-door, I said the engine's pretty healthy. I think it's gonna be a good one. It sounds like a fairly big cubic inch. We didn't rip it apart because it's like a freshly rebuilt essentially engine. Anyways. I'm getting all excited. Kong ignition. Here's a whole write-up on it. Showing the dual. At this point, they were running dual. Interesting.
Those are dual Ford.
Yeah,
coils.
But then there's other coils in between it. But anyways, Kong ignition. We talked about it before. Why are they so collectible? Why are they? Everybody wanted them. Kongs were kind of the thing back in the day. So Seattle track roadsters. So again, we're talking about track T's. And so now we're right up on the, again, I apologize if there's noise. Steve's running an engine. We're literally right underneath of us. So he's hot rodding while we're hanging out. So Corey Coupe, super cool. Beautiful car. You can kind of see in these photos the contrasting white pinstriping, piping, which is really cool. Look at I don't know if I've ever seen the hood open on this car. Look at the huge tank on the radiator.
Yeah, that is massive. It goes almost to where the carb is.
Yeah. I don't know.
36s have a pretty big top tank, but that's not correct.
That's like a massive.
Well, I mean, look, the water necks are basically straight down into the.
Yeah, it says 4-inch V-cell core and large capacity tank provide adequate cooling for the 46 Mercury engine without fan. There you go, no fan.
Oh, that's why.
with bore and stroke increased 1/8 inch. The engine is equipped with Myers heads, Wyand low manifold, Smith camshaft, and Potvin ignition. Hand pump air pressure system supplies fuel from 20-gallon Cadillac tank under rear compartment floor.
Damn, 20 gallons. That's a lot.
It's crazy how like almost all these cars had the hand pump in them. One thing that's super cool I saw in this car that you can't see in the photo, but I noticed when looking at the car, there's like this little panel underneath the dash on that car, and all the way to the right there's like a little handle, and it's actually a pull-out. It's chromed. It's a pull-out tray that you can like write on.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like a little tray, just a flat thing, but it's fucking chromed.
Of course.
It's pull out, and it's a little tray where you can, that's built into that.
How big do you think it is?
It's like the size of like a notebook or something.
Okay.
So you could write whatever on it, or maybe hold a map. But it's just like functional stuff like that. And it's got a 40. It's hard to see in this photo. I just noticed this recently. It's got a 46.8 radio that's like integrated into that lower panel.
Okay, that's the same one that you have in the Sweetheart Roadster.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Really, really cool.
I love the grill on it too.
Yeah.
Super iconic LaSalle.
Is it LaSalle? Yeah. Yeah, it says its fastest speed was 114.50 during the 48 season. Probably running at Rosetta as well because it's a closed car. I don't know if it says it, but
so fast. Can you imagine doing 114 in one of these cars?
Yeah, I mean nowadays it's like not as big of a deal, but like just back then it was just like such a big deal. Imagine because most of the roads weren't smooth enough or whatever.
Yeah.
But, so just really, really neat. I love this car. And now my subscription thing's falling out. But look how many pages. Oh, and I wonder if this is one of the first cutaway photos.
So cool.
Just so neat. I never really noticed this.
Oh, I forgot that has like molded Buick headlights too, right? They're molded into the fender.
Yeah, the Buick or Chevy.
It's the GM style.
40 Chevy.
Okay.
40 Chevy. We should know that because we just got a bunch of 40 Chevys.
I don't pay attention to any of that.
We should probably keep a set of those lights in case I ever want to do that.
I do want to build a 35, 36 3-window too.
There you go. We might need to keep 2 sets of those lights for ourselves. And another thing to note, black walls. So that's a good discussion that people have a lot. I know when I see some of the like Custom Rama and Custom Chronicles talking about this, like the early days of custom cars, and I would kind of, even though this is a hot rod, it's also kind of a custom because it's got that speedboat stance to it, the bubble skirts in the back, black walls. I feel like the white walls weren't really a thing until you get into the 50s, even though I feel like a custom really needs white walls. Really, like you look at this car, it's got black walls.
What's funny is Isky's
T has white walls on it.
Not Isky.
Isky's T had.
Isky's T. Yeah, it was white walls. It's kind of backwards because a lot of the hot rodders were just using
whatever,
whatever they could find kicking around.
But a lot of the early customs had black walls on them. When you look at the earlier days, so
it's also funny that's considered a custom and it ran at the Dry Lakes.
I feel like they were dual purpose, but this car is very. Most of the stuff about it's very hot rod, but that, just really, really cool. So I love that thing. Navarro, Smith Jones, Southern California Muffler Service, Anson's in here. National Roadster Show, Oakland for the first annual, advertising the first annual Roadster Show. See a Roadster built in 4 days.
Because the first one was 50.
Yeah. $5,000 in trophies and merchandise awards for America's finest speedway roadsters, street roadsters, lake roadsters, and there's also a junior class. World's largest trophy is okayed by Barbara Britton, starring with Ronald Coleman in Champagne for Caesar.
Where was Anson? They weren't in California, were they? I wonder what year we'll start seeing different, like Midwest or East Coast advertisements in it, because all the speed parts and everything we've seen so far have been California.
Yeah, mostly still here. Whittier, parts with appeal. Yeah.
What does she got there? Is that a fuel pump stand?
Cute little blonde. Yeah, it's a chrome. It's like that's the part. Is a chrome oil breather fuel pump stand. case you hadn't noticed, the object held by the lovely Jill Herzog is a chrome-plated oil breather stack. Miss Herzog, a Gene Nelson model, is 19 years of age, stands 5 foot 5.5 inches tall, weighs 115 pounds. Among her active interests are swimming, singing, and little theater work. Also all outdoor sports. Other features include her dimensions.
Does it give her full dimensions?
Other features include 34-inch bust, 25-inch waist, and 35-inch hips.
Oh my God, you definitely cannot do that today.
Shoes by Joyce, bathing suit by Rosemary Reed.
Oh my God, that's so
But
funny.
it's just, I love it.
Full body specs.
Yeah, it's just great. It's great.
That's such a funny part to pick for parts with appeal too.
Yeah, they were just like, what's laying around on the bench?
Yeah, what
here
do we
we
got?
go.
We got a fuel pump stand.
Fuel pump stand. That's whatever's laying around. Sounds like it's almost idling now. Good job, Steve. It's good. So let me know when I can drive it.
Get
Anyways,
in the car.
So we got trophies, adjustable tappets. Offenhauser has an ad in here, so Harman and Collins, muffler companies seem to be popular.
Offie is still the longest consecutive.
I think so, yeah. Oh, we've had these before. The Octagain water injection carburetor.
We have one for sale right now.
There you go. Here's an ad from 49 with it.
Stroker McGurk.
Yep. Tomfoolery by Medley. I like that. Speedo heads. I don't know what the heck those are.
Oh yeah.
New overhead valves for Ford V8. Oh, Speedomotive. This is where my Arden heads came from. It's 49. $490 complete, including heads, gaskets, valve and rocker assemblies, covers, everything necessary to run. Features 2-inch intake valve, spherical combustion chambers, blah blah blah.
That's for an Arden conversion.
Yeah, I guess so. They're just not saying what it
is,
but there's just new overhead valve conversion. But Speedomotive, I think, was the first ones to distribute them in California. Yeah. So this could have been when somebody saw the ad and bought my heads out of there. Yeah. There we go. Got it. I gotta just put this inside. All right, so yeah, that's pretty cool. That could be, my heads came from there in that ad. Eddie Myers, hydroplane plans. Electric balancing. Here's a air-cooled oil filter. It's one of those filter-later, beehives. Here you go. Your New England Iskadarian Racing Cam representative, Edgar H. Stone, in Belmont, Mass. So there you go. They're starting to see some here's a Michigan. Oh, this is cool. Houghton and Sullivan.
Yep.
49 Ford and Mercury heads, $50 a pair. Dealers wanted. Dearborn, Michigan. So you're starting to see, now you were asking about that. Now you're starting to see and hear some
of that crossover.
Yeah, and that Louis Shell.
Again, yeah.
And on Sepulveda.
Don't look at me. I can barely talk.
Anyways, Louis Shell obviously was doing big things. And then Grant Piston Rings.
I feel like Grant Piston Rings, all the big, even Popular Mechanic. Grant Piston Rings always ran full page rear advertisements.
They had a lot of money. There you go. They must have really had some money. They were big
advertising.
business. Well, they were probably doing piston rings for every type of.
Yeah. They were probably doing a lot of factory replacement, providing them for companies. So I picked 49 September. Matt and I both commented on this cover. It just says Fast Ford 4-barrel at the bottom, and all the pictures in the background are track tees from dry lakes or dirt racing.
Yeah.
And the car on the cover is
really, really good with the belly pan integrated. That's a highly finished car. It looks like from the photos, which is neat.
Track nose, the louvers in the side panels are cool. So we'll get into it. Let's see, Bell Auto Parts advertisement. This is cool. California Bill has a Chevrolet's Go Fast 2.
Nice.
And building a channel job.
Nice, yeah.
So it's a mail-in to get a speed manual or how to channel a early Ford.
Nice.
This SoCal Speed, no bull.
Love it. Yeah, the illustrations were so cool back then.
They're all hand drawn.
Yeah.
No Photoshop back then.
Nope.
Let's see. mailbag. Let's see where they're from. California, Washington, California, Illinois. No Saudi Arabia this time.
I have a feeling
Yeah,
they
that
were.
was fake.
They were.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Speedomotive again. I wonder if this says Speedomotive rocket heads. They're cast iron. So
Those are the rocket heads.
Yeah.
They're just probably distributing them.
Yeah,
though, right?
exactly. Iscadarian, Clark Header Company. Oh, look. Triple chrome plated V8 fuel pumps.
Nice.
Parts. Oh, Honest Charlie's is in here.
Okay.
Tennessee. Stelling. It's so cool to see all these old companies. They were back even, 48, 49. Smith Jones.
Yeah, that's another one. Smith Jones, like, those are really obscure. Like, their speed equipment is really obscure, and it's like they were hitting heavy in those.
Yeah,
times,
they
but I guess
were
they just,
selling Clay Smith cams back in the day.
Okay, so they were also like they were a speed shop.
There's probably like these speed shops in every small little town in California.
and they were making their own speed equipment. Yeah.
This is interesting. This has a subscription form in it too. Hot Shot Lowlights. So what are these? These are Henry J's, I think. Or no, Crosley's.
Oh, Crosley's, yeah.
So it's very odd to see in 49.
They're starting to try and see if people are interested in other stuff.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Talking about all these early. Look how tiny that is. These Crosley's are so ridiculously small.
I just look right past.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like when I look at these magazines, if
Yep.
it's not something like I just like flip past, I don't even remember that.
Then there's a full article about Rosetta at El Mirage talking about, holy cow. There's a C Roadster ran 140 miles an hour. A 274 cubic inch mill. Evans heads, Weber cam, pounded
Nice.
magneto. That's fast. 140 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
they're doing pretty good
Yeah, that's crazy fast.
for just like essentially a lot of these cars are like they were street cars.
Yeah.
And guys were just hopping up, and guy probably like drove the thing there.
Yeah. So July 24th witnessed the largest meet ever to be held by Rosetta Timing Association from an entry list of 183 cars. 155 managed to run. That's crazy.
Yeah. Awesome.
It goes.
Chopped 5 window over there.
Yeah, this is South Dakota.
Nice.
South Dakota chop top. It's a very, very well done 5 window.
Channeled just a little bit.
Yeah, width of the frame.
Nice. That's a nice car. Love it.
The D. Smet Body Shop, South Dakota. In a town called D. Smet. It's a metallic. The thing I hate about these black and white photos is every car just looks the same.
Yeah, you can't see the color.
It's light or dark. This is a copper mist, metallic copper mist color.
Neat.
So it's probably a really, really neat chrome
Oh.
generator, 2 finned heads. Oh, that's killer. Look at the grill shell. It's molded into the frame.
Yeah, into the frame horns. That's pretty cool.
That's real wild. That's kind of interesting to see for 49.
Yeah.
I got the boring magazines. Again, carburetor tuning. A whole 2-page article on carburetors. This is cool. Roadster racing Minnesota style. Interesting. It's talking about, let's see, Twin City. So, having a brain fart. What's the Twin Cities? St. Paul and Minneapolis. There we go.
Sure. I was trying to blank. I'm like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've already messed up a bunch of people's names.
Again, the 49, all of these track tees, some have roll bars, but
Okay.
they're all below the person's head. They're like at the shoulders.
Does nothing.
A bunch of them have nothing.
Just
Like
duck when you crash.
look at these two on the bottom here. They look so sketchy.
Oh my god.
That one dude's like, his waist is at the top of the door.
Yeah.
It's like, no wonder they were outlawed. They're the sketchiest racing ever. Ooh, here we go. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Full cutaway of the car on the cover.
That's awesome.
And it is powered by Fargo overhead valve converted B model. It'll turn 5,300 RPM
Wow.
and develop 200 plus horsepower.
That's nuts. Now the horsepower ratings, I feel like in these magazines sometimes were a little
They're
optimistic.
yes, very optimistic.
I mean, I'm sure with that head it made a lot, but 200 seems a little.
The B engine was 214 cubic inch.
Ooh.
So that's stroked and bored pretty good.
Yeah. Wow.
First run in 36.
Yeah, that thing's awesome.
Trying to think what. See, there's Winfield cams on it, or carbs.
That O'Reilly's or something.
Franklin Cal steering.
Yeah, again, that was like the standard for
Exactly. Yeah. It's so wild. These B engines, they were using parts from a little bit of everything. So it's got stock B crank, aftermarket pistons, twin connecting rods. So they were taking two B connecting rods and welding them together. Or does it say?
Really?
Yeah, look at the connecting rod. There might be flathead V8, but there's two connecting rods, like welded together.
Whoa.
Look how big that piston is too. The piston looks massive. But they're also using Chevy push rods to work with that aftermarket overhead valve conversion. That's crazy, isn't it?
No lock washers or cotter keys are used on the twin rods. What the fuck? I guess that's one way to keep it from bending the rods.
Because I guess the B rods had real big bearings, but the probably the stem or whatever you call it of the rod was thin, and they probably bend them. It's so crazy looking, isn't it?
Yeah, that's awesome. Whatever works.
Early hot rodding. Trying to see what carbs they used. It was alcohol fed.
Wow.
Also very interesting for a early, they were messing with fuels already back then.
Yeah.
The cutaway of that's so cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Like another page on carburetor tuning.
Nothing's changed. We all have problems with carbs.
Exactly.
So that's still like a thing now. Like I need somebody to help me tune my carburetors.
Evans speed equipment. Ooh, parts with appeal. This is a good one.
Hey, that's a good Sturt Warner panel.
Yeah.
Love it.
Something much more interesting than a chrome fuel pump.
Yeah.
Let's see. Does it have her? It does. Has her. It says other specifications. So funny.
Oh, God.
Bobby Cook proudly displays a new instrument panel for hot rods. The panel has 8 streamlined matched instruments mounted in a satin finished stainless steel frame.
Love it.
She has brown hair, green eyes, 5'8" tall, and weighs 125 pounds. You definitely cannot put a woman's weight in an article like that nowadays.
5'8",
so
dang,
wild.
she's
Decently tall. Anson again.
What's that little drawing to the left?
It says Walt's Shop Talk.
Oh, okay.
So they write in with questions. I'm hopping up my V8. Will I get the same life out of it that I would get with the stock engine? I want to hop it up, but don't want to spend a lot of time keeping it in condition. Just random. Largest stock on East Coast, Lee's Speed Shop, Tornado Speed Equipment.
Nice. Yeah, that stuff's rare.
19 years in the speed shop business.
Where is it located?
Oakland, California.
Oh, okay.
So 19 years, that means they would have been open in 30.
It might have been what we saw that article written in the
maybe.
other one I was looking at.
Lee's Speed Shop. Speed and Power Handbook. Those are real popular.
Yep.
JE Pistons. Ooh, Burns 2-in-1.
Oh, that's
where
rare.
you could do the different attachments onto it.
Very rare. What's that top right say?
Here's a subtle bulb type auto whistle.
Oh, wolf whistle.
Yeah, but it has like a bulb. So
Beep.
instead of having a exhaust whistle, this still has the subscription in it too.
Nice.
Someone took a bite out of this page. I don't know.
Cut the ad out.
I don't know what was there. L&S.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
Speed and tack drives. Oh, it probably was for an ad down here.
That's funny.
More broken T roasters. Look, the wheel fell off.
Oh, boy.
Up in front.
Whole axle fell off.
Yeah. Trophies. Offie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true. They're promoting their new manifold line for 49 because the APA just came out.
Yeah. Makes sense.
What else we got? Oh, 1920s fronties.
Oh, front neck.
So it's a bunch of early race cars with the front neck overhead valve conversions.
Mm.
Trying to see what else.
Or like the whole fronty engine.
Yeah.
The dual
So
overhead cam.
they were Model Ts with front neck heads, balance shaft, drilled rods, dowel metal pistons, dual mags, ground cams, chopped flywheels.
Nice. Super cool.
That's early racing.
Yeah.
Those had to be so sketchy because they were racing on those like 21-inch thin wire spoke wheels. That's cool. I don't know what car that. I don't know what car that is there at the.
It looks like some kind of like Italian car or something. Or French,
There's Louis Shell again. Man.
Doing it big.
Yeah. Sweet jail bar. Ford truck.
What is it?
Louis Shell.
Louis Shell must. He was going at it like Vic Edelbrock and all them, but he didn't.
V8 and Merc adjustable tappet sets, 1360. Burns intake manifold. The single.
Does he have Zephyr valve springs?
He does not, but we do.
We have the largest inventory of Zephyr valve springs in the world right now.
Burns A and B downdraft manifolds.
Nice.
Singles were 1350. And duals were $16.95. How wild is it that the Burns intake was the same price as a set of adjustable tappets? It doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't really make sense.
The prices, and of course, the Grant piston rings, full page rear,
of course,
advert on the back. So that was actually really fun to look through.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Hopefully, it was as fun. It might not have been as fun to listen to or watch as it was for us to do it. We had a good time. So fuck you if you didn't like this.
This is about us and not about you.
Not about you. If you guys haven't figured this out, this whole thing, it's all about us having fun. And if you guys want to join along, then sure, great. But yeah, so that was just a fun little thing to do. If you guys enjoy this, or there's an era or a years of magazines you'd like us to do a similar thing, we're not going to do this every time, but we may pepper these in between some of the storytelling stuff. Drop us a line and let us know. If you're watching on YouTube, you can of course just comment below. If you're listening on the podcast outlets, you can just send us an email, irontrapgarage@gmail.com.
Yeah, man.
So that's all we have for this one. Thank you guys for listening to us ramble and go, ooh, look at this. Ooh, check
that's
out that.
Cool.
And we'll catch you next time. As always, we're doing podcasts weekly, so make sure you check in and see what we got to BS about. Thanks, guys. See you later.